Well, hello crafty friends. It's been a really long time since I uploaded a video because honestly, I haven't had a great chance to do a lot of unhinged crafting. I've been extremely busy with designs for various yarn companies. And when I have a bunch of designs that I need to do for other people, it is very difficult to do the kinds of unhinged crafting that I like to do. The good news is that I'm caught up. My last garment for someone else is in testing right now. And so I have all kinds of freedom and flexibility to do the things I want to do. So let's do a little tour of all of the unhinged projects that I have started recently. Well, first of all, not unhinged. Here's my winter gladden that I made, I don't know, a year ago. Also, that's my dog chewing on a bone behind you. I'm wearing my running base layer, so she is just like wandering around whining. She knows that we're going running. As soon as I finish filming this, I'm gonna go get dressed. It's like 20 degrees below zero right now, but we're gonna go out and go for a run. So she's just trying to survive until I finally get a move on and do what she wants to do. Anyway, winter gladden. This is a design I did for Expression Fiber Arts, and this is the sample that I made when I did a make-along at the yarn store I work at. That's my other dog, of course, barking at stuff. And for the longest time, I have had pockets done. They've been ready to go on. They just haven't been sewn on. So this morning, I sewed a pocket on because I have the luxury of having the house to myself for a whole hour and a half, which I don't even know the last time that I was home all alone. I don't know, which is part of the reason that I have really struggled to be consistent in doing these videos, because it turns out that trying to do videos a minute and a half to 2 minutes at a time, which is literally the length of time that I have from when I hit record until somebody hears me talking and then wanders in and needs to be involved. It's just, that's the life stage I'm in. It's fine. It is what it is. But that does mean that I really struggle to get these videos, just record it all, and then the amount of editing that I have to do to edit out little voices and edit out little faces and whatever it is that they're talking about, it just takes a lot of time. Anyway, yes, finally I'm starting to sew on pockets. I'm going to sew on the other pocket later. So there's that, not unhinged, maybe except for the length of time that these pockets sat. Very, very long time. So we'll toss that out of the way. And then I have over here, if I can get it out, this is the sweater that I designed that is in testing right now. It is called the Mesa Vista Cardi, but I am making the Mesa Vista felted winter jacket version. So it is extremely large. I've made it 2 sizes bigger. This is where I'm at with this sleeve and this sleeve over here. So I've been working them symmetrically just because that's what I want to do. This is the 3rd one that I've made, and I just get to the point when I'm remaking something that it's like, I just don't want to do it this way again. So I'm just doing something different, and I only have 2 colors of this yarn, of this type of yarn anyway, and I have like 86 more skeins of these and about 8 of these, 9, I don't know. Have to go look in my cabinet over there. So I really did want the gray to be the main color, and I didn't realize how fast the yarn would go. So I'm having to do some color work improvisation. So these stripes, they're supposed to be 4 colors, but obviously I only have 2, and that was always the plan. What I, of course, did not do was actually check and see how much yarn I had of each color. They were all just mashed into the same drawer, and I assumed like, oh, it's going to be fine. And yeah, it turns out I had way more of that pink than I have of the gray. But again, we're improvising. We're going to figure out, I'm going to dye this anyway when it's all done. I'm going to felt and dye it at the same time, an orangey type color, because orange is the best color. So we're going to do that. And what I'm going to end up doing, I wanted to do the sleeves first to make sure that I had enough yarn of the gray to do what I wanted to do. And then I'm going to continue to do a decrease of the gray and increases in the pink stripes. So that, I mean, by the time and this is gonna be like a duster, like it's gonna be really long because I live in the cold frozen north. And I'm also a hockey mom, so I spend a lot of time in rinks. And it would be nice to have something warm that also does not increase my body volume by 3 times, like this big puffy coat that I have that is actually, it's just really claustrophobic. And I have a hard time wearing it, but it is super warm and it's nice to have. But I would like to have something that's super warm and low profile and does not cost $1 zillion. Which, you know, the Venn diagram of those things, that center is like that big. So there's that. Right, I have all kinds of things and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to grab. The next thing, I am doing a crafty swap with a crafty friend, and I am making them a vest, and they are making me 3 or 4 little things. One is a wolf, a frog, a pouch, and I'm sure there's something else, but I can never remember what that something else is. But they have a list. They can keep track of that. I don't need to. Call it a win. So I have, right, so they are getting the purple one, and then the knit version. But I'm sorry, I know this packaging is always super loud. I got 2 other colors. So one will be the crochet version and one will be the Tunisian crochet version. But I only got 2 skeins of each color because I was hoping that I could get the whole vest just in 2 skeins, at least for the size that I'm making. Based on how the knit one is going, I'm feeling really not confident about that. So I had always intended to use this contrasting color for like ribbing, that, you know, kind of the finishing stuff, but they decided they wanted just a solid color for their knit version. So the knit version is going to be a solid color option. And then I will do different options with the other versions. I mean, one, just to stretch the yarn a little further, but also to show, I don't know, just various options. You can have just the finishing be an off color, or you could do stripes, or I don't know, something. I'll figure it out as I go. These will eventually be designs that are released. They will be a gemstone collection. So we have this one, amethyst, and then we have aquamarine, I believe, and citrine will be the names of the patterns. So those will be coming at some point. But super fun. And next, in my newsletter that I sent out in December, I included a freebie small little colorwork pattern design. Ugh, we're all twisted here. There we go. So I am making a hat. Trust me, it will actually fit. But I am making a hat with that little design in it. I started with 20 fewer stitches than I currently have, and it was way too small. Because I did not gauge swatch. I just started. But as I was working on it, I was like, this looks a little bit small. So then, you know, I was 6 rows or something into the color work and finally measured, and it was going to be very, very tight on my head. So I tore the whole thing apart and am now at the correct number of stitches that will actually fit my head. And what's really nice, here's a little pro tip for you. When you're working color work, it can, and if you're beginning to do color work, you're not super confident in your ability to not have your floats be too tight and all of that, use the longest cable. I gave this knit tip on my social media and I said the largest, and I think that was confusing to some people. The longest. Use the longest cable possible that actually fits your stitches without mega stretching them out. And then in that way you can help your floats sit looser, and it's just much harder to over tighten all of your floats because all your stitches are super spread out. So that's what I'm doing. These are my ChowGoo shorty set that I got for Christmas a couple years ago for my husband. So I have 3 different cables all linked together. If you look right in there, there's, can we see that? There we go. This is a cable joiner. So we've got one, and then I've got the other cable connector right there. So yeah, it's like my, what did it come with? A 5-inch and 8-inch, 5, 6, 8? I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, all the little tiny ones are connected together to get this. I have that, or I have a 40-inch, and that's way too big for, or a 60-inch. I don't know. Way too big for a hat. That would not work. So I've got, right, this is my main color. And then I have, right, so here's the bit that I already had to tear out because I'd already cut it. This, and I have this. And I'm going to use this color. What else did I have? I think I'm doing silver. And I think white. So yeah, super fun. I'm really excited about that. It was a super fun surprise for my newsletter subscribers. They did not know it's something that I want to continue doing going forward, where I have, you know, just a cute little freebie. Like a small, this is a 20 stitches by 25 rows. I think color work, design, or, you know, do a little lace pattern or a small texture. I don't know, just something that is, yeah, just something that's a little freebie for my newsletter subscribers. And then, yeah, and then they can just do whatever they want with it. It's not copyrighted. It's not anything, just whatever. So I thought it would be fun, and so I did it. Right. The final thing that, this one is like really unhinged, that I'm working on, is I suddenly had this huge urge to make a rug for our upstairs hallway. So I measured it yesterday, and it is 40 inches wide by 12 feet long. And I just thought it would be a really fun, like scrappy, you know, a little scrappy project that I can, because I practiced on a little swatch that I was using for knee patches, because I'm trying to salvage a bunch of sweatpants for my little boys, because I mean, I don't want to continually have to rebuy pants when all they need is just the knees patched. So if I just keep 3 running colors, I can do this design, you know, this stitch pattern, and it looks really cool. It is adequately dense. And yeah, it'll be really fun. It'll be nice. And I would show you, except the 3-year-old is currently wearing the pants that have the knee patch on them. So I cannot show you what I did unless I insert a picture. We'll see if I'm smart enough to figure out how to do. maybe that could be the cover picture for this episode. Maybe I'll do that. Okay, anyway, so I have gathered, you know, it might just be easier to take you with me. So I have gathered, do you see all that? All these scraps. I'm going to recycle this. What did I show you that? I'm going to recycle this, and I think I'm going to pull these apart. I was experimenting with a different kind of shawl design, and I just don't want to use them for that anymore. I'm not very invested in going back and figuring out what I did, because I don't think that I wrote down very good notes. I'd have to go back and look. Because it was kind of a like, oh, can I do this? And I can. It's okay, but it's not great. I don't care anymore, is the truth. So I think I'm going to just pull all those apart, and then they will become incorporated in this giant rug, which honestly is it's just like an ADHD thing that I'm super excited about right now. And it sounds really, really fun. And I mean, whatever, you know, it's like scraps and little skeins of stuff that I don't really know what to do with. I don't really have a plan. It uses up a bunch of yarn, which is really nice. Yeah, there's like a lot of positives here. And there's like no pressure to complete it. It's a thing that's just, I mean, I'm not going to make a pattern out of it. I'm not going to do anything with it except throw it on the floor. I was talking to my daughter this morning. And of course, the first words out of her mouth after I was like, hey, you want to hear this ridiculous idea that I have? She's like, well, how is it not going to slip? Like, why do we have to be so practical here? But of course, that's a great question because it's a wood floor. So obviously it's going to be super slippery. But I don't necessarily want to attach anything straight to the bottom of it because I want to be able to wash it. I mean, probably not in our washing machine. I don't think it would fit. But, you know, but if I have like an adhesive on the yarn itself, like that's not going to work. So we are going to need to sort out some of these little details. I'm sure it's as simple as, you know, down in our basement, we actually have rugs that have, it's like a separate grippy pad that we then put adhesive corners on, and then we put the rug on those. So I'll probably just do something like that on both ends, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm not worried about it right now. It's going to take me 3 to 4 years probably to make this thing anyway, because it's going to be so gargantuan. And as you can see, I've got a number of other things going on. And so, yeah, it's just going to vary from, like, I'm just going to bounce back and forth. This is the kind of crafting that I love to do, where I have 9 different projects happening and I can just bounce between them as I see fit, and I can, you know, impulse cast on a hat or cast on a floor rug. You know, and there's not like a looming deadline. I don't have someone else's yarn and they're waiting for me to finish doing stuff. I mean, I love designing with companies. I love that part of my job. I love getting to work with it. There's so many things I love about it. But I'm in this, I have been designing for other people almost like very, very solidly for 18 months or so. And it's been a lot of overlapping projects. And just because I have like time blindness. And so I just I don't have a good grasp of how long things take. And so I'm like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I can. And now I have 7 projects and I have 5 months to do them all. And it's just completely unrealistic. So that's what ended up happening is I said yes to too many things, didn't have a good grasp of how long everything would take. And so it's just been a very solid, like constantly, you know, trying to get these designs finished, trying to finish them, trying to write up the patterns, all of these things. Again, super fun, but very rigid in what I can work on and when I can work on it. And I would like to have a little season of flexibility. So that is what has been happening over here. I don't think I have anything else going on. And my phone is running out of video room, so I've really got to wrap this up if I have any hope of being able to edit and get this uploaded. So I hope all is well with you, and I'm gonna try, fingers crossed, really, really hard to try to be a little more consistent with doing these videos. And even when it is a minute and a half, 2 minutes at a time, and it's a little bit chippy choppy because I've recorded the episode over 6 days and then I have to mash it all together. Today I just got lucky. And I could do it all in one block, and hopefully I don't have to do too much editing. I know there's a block in the center that I need to cut out, but that's what I have. Tell me what unhinged things you are working on, because I would love to hear all about it. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.